Pamela Hartford's life was a tapestry woven with threads of luxury and privilege, a testament to the grandeur of her family's wealth and influence. As the only child of industrial magnate Richard Hartford, Pamela was surrounded by opulence from an early age, enjoying exclusive experiences and the finest education. Her world seemed perfect, with every birthday wish granted and every whim catered to. Yet, this ideal existence was shattered in an instant on the day of her 20th birthday. While preparing for a video call with her parents, who were abroad on business, Pamela faced the devastating news of their untimely deaths in a plane crash. Overwhelmed by grief and the sudden responsibility of managing the Hartford empire, Pamela was guided by Franklin Morris, her father's trusted advisor. With his support, she began to navigate the complex world of business management and emerged as a respected leader. Amid her transformation, Pamela found love with Albert Simmons, a charismatic new hire at Hartford Industries. Their relationship blossomed into a romance and eventually marriage, marking a hopeful new chapter in Pamela's life. However, beneath the surface of their burgeoning romance, Albert harbored a dark secret. Driven by a desire for revenge against the company he believed had wronged his family, Albert's hidden motives began to strain their relationship. Despite the professional success and personal happiness they shared, cracks in their marriage deepened as Albert's duplicity came to light. In the end, Pamela's journey from grief to strength was marred by the betrayal of the man she loved. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Pamela Hartford's early years were immersed in an environment of unparalleled luxury and privilege, a testament to the immense fortune of her illustrious family. Her father, Richard Hartford, stood as a towering figure in the industrial world, a magnate whose very name was synonymous with influence and respect among the most elite echelons of business. With a reputation forged through decades of shrewd enterprise and groundbreaking achievements, Richard's presence commanded awe and reverence. As the only child in such a prominent family, Pamela was not just a daughter, but the cherished centerpiece of her parents' existence. She was enveloped in a cocoon of opulence, where every conceivable comfort and extravagant pleasure was readily available. From the earliest days of her life, Pamela was accustomed to a world defined by excess and splendor. Her quarters resembled the grandeur of a regal suite, resplendent with an assortment of toys from exotic locales, exquisitely crafted dresses, and first editions of beloved children's literature, their covers adorned in sumptuous leather. Every year, as her birthday approached, her mother would tenderly approach her with a voice brimming with love and anticipation. "Darling, what extraordinary gift would you like this year? Would you prefer a magical celebration at Disney World or perhaps a private, intimate tour through the romantic streets of Paris?" Her mother's willingness to fulfill even the wildest of her dreams spoke volumes of her devotion and eagerness to see her daughter's desires realized. Meanwhile, Richard Hartford, despite his wealth and influence, held an unwavering belief in the paramount importance of education. "Pamela, my precious little princess," he would assert with heartfelt sincerity during their sumptuous dinners, where the table was set grandly to accommodate a dozen guests. "Education is the one treasure that remains yours forever, untouched by time or circumstance." His words, spoken with a blend of paternal pride and deep-seated wisdom, underscored his commitment to ensuring that Pamela received the finest education available. This dedication led her to attend the most prestigious private schools, where revered educators were enlisted to cater to her intellectual needs and nurture her burgeoning talents. While other children of her age might have found joy in the thrill of amusement parks and the simplicity of youthful entertainment, Pamela's vacations were a journey through the annals of history and culture. She explored grand museums and ancient archaeological sites, guided by private experts who unfolded the rich tapestry of human civilization just for her. These exclusive experiences cultivated in Pamela a sophisticated and perceptive worldview, a profound understanding of the immense privileges that her social and intellectual standing afforded her. Yet, despite the grandeur of her existence, her seemingly idyllic world was abruptly and tragically altered on the day she turned 20. On that crisp autumn morning, as the leaves danced in a gentle breeze, Pamela was preparing for a video conference with her parents, who were away on a business trip in the far reaches of Europe. She anticipated hearing about new industrial acquisitions and plans from her father, Richard, whose enthusiasm for preparing her to inherit his legacy had always been palpable. Little did she know that this day, marked by anticipation and expectation, would bring with it a sudden and devastating turn of events that would forever change the trajectory of her life, shattering the carefully constructed world she had known and loved. The laptop screen flickered with the anticipation of the scheduled call, but instead of being greeted by her parents' familiar, reassuring faces, it remained stubbornly static, the sound of an unanswered call reverberating through the room with an unnerving echo. Pamela's heart began to race as she anxiously attempted to reconnect. Her repeated efforts met with the same disheartening result. "This is so unusual," she murmured to herself, a pang of unease piercing through her calm demeanor. The minutes stretched into hours of agonizing silence, each tick of the clock amplifying her growing anxiety. Finally, the sharp chime of the mansion's doorbell sliced through the heavy silence. Pamela hurried down the grand staircase, her footsteps resonating like distant thunder through the opulent corridors. At the entrance, she was greeted by the family lawyer, whose face was pale and etched with a profound sadness, flanked by two solemn executives from her father's company. Their grim expressions were like ominous storm clouds, foretelling the devastating news that was about to shatter her world. Pamela, the lawyer, began, his voice trembling with a weight she had never encountered before. "There has been a catastrophic accident. The plane your father and mother were on. There were no survivors." The lawyer's words hit her with the force of 1,000 storms, an avalanche of grief that obliterated her breath and left her reeling. The shock was so overwhelming that it felt as though the very foundation of her existence had been ripped away. She leaned heavily against the door frame, her legs buckling beneath her as the devastating reality began to sink in. "This can't be happening," she whispered through the suffocating haze of denial, her chest tightening with a sharp, relentless pain. "We had so many dreams, so many plans. They can't just be gone like this." The walls of her reality crumbled around her, leaving her in the ruins of a future she had envisioned with her parents. In the days that followed, Pamela was engulfed not only by the profound sorrow of her loss, but also by the staggering burden of inheriting the Hartford industrial empire. The once vibrant mansion, filled with the warmth of laughter and life, now stood eerily silent, its halls echoing with a mournful quiet. The only sounds were the muted whispers of the servants and the rhythmic thud of her footsteps as she navigated through the cavernous rooms. Pamela was suddenly thrust into a maelstrom of responsibilities and decisions she was ill-prepared for, left to grapple with the immense weight of her new reality and the overwhelming task of leading a sprawling empire that had once been her father's legacy. The future, once so bright and promising, now seemed shrouded in a darkness that felt insurmountable. One fateful morning, as Pamela sifted through the labyrinth of her father's business documents, the overwhelming complexity of the operations struck her with a paralyzing force. Each page seemed to multiply the enormity of her task, and she found herself engulfed in a storm of confusion and doubt. "How on earth am I going to manage all this?" she wondered aloud, her heart heavy with the weight of her newfound responsibilities. The enormity of her predicament pressed down on her like an insurmountable burden, filling her with gnawing anxiety about the future. It was in the midst of this sea of uncertainty that Pamela recalled Franklin Morris, her father's trusted confidant and an unwavering ally. Despite her hesitation and the swirling emotions of her situation, she recognized the urgent need for support. With a sense of both desperation and hope, she picked up the phone and dialed Franklin's number, her fingers trembling slightly as she pressed the buttons. Franklin answered almost instantly, his voice a balm of reassurance and calm that cut through her distress. "Franklin, it's Pamela," she said, her voice tinged with a mixture of relief and apprehension. I'm overwhelmed. I can't handle all this on my own. I need help." "Pamela," my dear Franklin replied, his tone imbued with a deep sense of sympathy and determination. "I had a feeling you might reach out. Your father always held you in the highest regard, and I share that belief. I'll be there tomorrow, and together we'll begin to sort through everything. You're not alone in this." His words, rich with empathy and resolve, ignited a flicker of hope within Pamela's heart. She felt a glimmer of reassurance that, despite the daunting challenges ahead, she would not face them alone. The following day, Franklin arrived at the Grand Hartford mansion, carrying a folder brimming with crucial documents and an unwavering resolve. His presence was like a lighthouse guiding her through the storm. They convened in the library, the very room where Richard had once meticulously reviewed contracts and strategized. Franklin, with his characteristic calm authority, began to unravel the intricate world of business management for Pamela. "Let's start with a comprehensive overview of your primary business areas and pinpoint where your involvement is most needed," he suggested, laying out a detailed chart with clarity and precision. "I'll be right beside you every step of the way, Pamela. Together we will honor your parents' legacy and ensure the continued success of their vision." Under Franklin's patient and meticulous guidance, Pamela embarked on a journey of learning and adaptation. Each day, each mentoring session with Franklin felt like an invaluable masterclass in business management and leadership. His expertise and unwavering support became the bedrock upon which Pamela began to build her confidence and competence. As she navigated the complexities of the Hartford businesses, she found herself gradually mastering the skills and knowledge required to uphold the esteemed legacy left by her parents. They spent countless hours in the company's grand and imposing conference room, a space that seemed to hold the weight of decades of business legacy. Here, Franklin Morris meticulously unraveled the complex web of financial reports, marketing strategies, and the intricate nuances of international negotiations. His presence, commanding yet reassuring, guided Pamela through this maze of corporate operations with a steady hand. Pamela, Franklin began, his voice steady as he pointed to the elaborate growth projections displayed on one of the charts. "Every decision we make needs to be meticulously calculated to ensure not only immediate profitability, but also the long-term sustainability of the company." His words were laced with a deep respect for the wisdom of her late father, and he continued, "Your father had a remarkable talent for this kind of strategic thinking, and I can see that you possess the same sharp business acumen." Despite her initial hesitance in embracing her new responsibilities, Pamela found a burgeoning sense of confidence in Franklin's encouragement and in her swift capacity to grasp complex concepts. "Franklin, how can I be certain that we're on the right path?" she inquired during one of their intense working sessions, her pen poised over a critical investment report, reflecting a mix of curiosity and determination. "Pamela," Franklin advised with a warm, supportive smile, "trust your instincts and continue asking the right questions. You're already exhibiting the mindset of a true CEO. And remember, the values of transparency and ethics are just as crucial as the financial figures. Your father always held those principles in the highest regard." Encouraged by Franklin's sage advice and inspired by her father's legacy, Pamela began to infuse her leadership with her innovative ideas. She implemented cutting-edge technologies and embraced sustainable practices, which not only enhanced production efficiency, but also bolstered the company's reputation in the market. The results of her efforts were increasingly apparent. Under Pamela's astute leadership, the company ventured into new markets and achieved unprecedented levels of profitability. The respect she earned within the business world was tangible. Those who had once doubted her youthful inexperience now acknowledged her visionary approach and unwavering determination. Pamela, Franklin remarked during one of their quarterly reviews, his tone filled with genuine admiration. "You are proving yourself to be an extraordinary leader. Richard would be immensely proud." On a dreary autumn day, as the corridors of Hartford Industries buzzed with the usual cadence of a thriving corporation, the routine was punctuated by the arrival of a new candidate for a pivotal strategic position within the company. Albert Simmons, clad in a meticulously tailored suit and clutching a sleek leather briefcase, entered the grand main lobby with an air of self-assured professionalism. With a charismatic smile, he introduced himself at the reception, his presence a blend of confidence and elegance that seemed to promise new possibilities for the future of Hartford Industries. "Good morning. My name is Albert Simmons. I'm here for an interview with Mr. Franklin Morris," he announced with a confident yet courteous demeanor, extending a firm hand to the receptionist. "Of course, Mr. Simmons," the receptionist responded with a professional smile. "Mr. Morris is expecting you. Please follow me." She guided him through the corridors, which were richly adorned with portraits of the company's founders and gleaming awards that reflected the legacy and achievements of Hartford Industries. Each step Albert took seemed to echo the grandeur and history of the company he was about to join. As they reached Franklin's office, Albert straightened his jacket, took a deep breath to steady his nerves, and knocked gently on the door. "Come in," came Franklin's authoritative yet warm voice from within. Franklin stood up as Albert entered, a welcoming smile gracing his features. "Mr. Simmons, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Please have a seat," Franklin invited, gesturing to a comfortable chair positioned in front of his desk. "I've reviewed your resume, and I must say, I'm quite impressed. I'm eager to hear more about your background and your vision for contributing to our company." As the interview progressed, Franklin attentively examined Albert's resume, his focus momentarily diverted when Albert gestured towards a prominent painting hanging on the office wall. The painting, a striking depiction of Richard and Pamela Hartford at a grand company gala, seemed to capture the essence of the company's rich history and its leadership. "If I may ask," Albert began with a tone of genuine curiosity, his gaze fixed respectfully on the painting, "who are these individuals in the painting? They appear to hold significant importance to the company." Franklin followed Albert's gaze, his eyes softening as a fond smile spread across his face. "These are Richard Hartford, our late founder, and his daughter, Pamela," Franklin explained with a touch of reverence in his voice. "Richard was a visionary leader who built this company from the ground up, and Pamela, though young, has admirably taken up the mantle of leadership after his passing. Their legacy is deeply intertwined with the spirit and success of Hartford Industries." The conversation continued, with Franklin's words reflecting a deep respect for the Hartford family and their contributions to the company. Albert listened intently, his admiration growing as he realized the weight of the legacy he hoped to become a part of. The interview, filled with mutual respect and shared aspirations, marked the beginning of what promised to be a promising collaboration. "Ah, yes," Franklin began, gesturing towards the painting with a thoughtful smile. "That's Richard Hartford, the visionary founder of our company. And beside him is his daughter, Pamela Hartford. Richard tragically passed away some time ago in a devastating accident, which left the company's leadership in Pamela's capable hands. She has stepped up to the challenge with remarkable poise and effectiveness." Albert nodded thoughtfully, his expression reflecting a deep respect and understanding. "I'm genuinely sorry to hear about his passing. It's undoubtedly a formidable task to succeed such a respected leader, but from what I hear, Pamela has been more than up to the challenge." "Absolutely," Franklin affirmed, his voice filled with admiration. "Pamela has proven herself to be an outstanding leader, navigating the complexities of the business with skill and dedication. Now, let's delve deeper. I'd like to hear more about your approach to leadership and how you tackle challenges in high-pressure situations." As the interview continued, the discussion evolved into a rich exchange of management strategies and innovative solutions. Albert spoke with infectious enthusiasm about his experiences, sharing his strategies for overcoming obstacles and driving growth. Franklin, clearly impressed, noted Albert's knack for introducing fresh perspectives and inventive solutions to intricate problems. By the end of the meeting, Franklin extended his hand with a decisive and confident gesture. Albert Franklin said, his tone reflecting genuine conviction, "I believe your experience and vision align seamlessly with the values and goals of Hartford Industries. I'm excited about the prospect of having you join our team as an analyst." Albert, his face alight with satisfaction, shook Franklin's hand with a firm and assured grip. "Thank you, Mr. Morris. I'm thrilled about the opportunity to contribute to the company's success." As Albert left the office, Franklin's mind lingered on the promising new addition to their team. With a renewed sense of optimism and anticipation, he returned to his desk, energized by the prospect of working with Albert and supported by Pamela's steadfast leadership. Later, amidst the whirlwind of corporate life, a different kind of connection began to blossom. In a quiet moment, with emotions running deep and genuine, Franklin found himself opening up to Pamela. "Professionally and personally, I think I'm beginning to feel something more for you," he confessed, his heart racing with hopeful anticipation. Pamela's response was gentle yet filled with sincerity. "Albert, I feel the same," she said, her voice soft but resolute. "You've become someone very special to me, more than I ever expected." Their shared feelings marked the beginning of a profound bond, intertwining their personal and professional lives as they faced the future together with renewed hope and unity. Encouraged by their heartfelt exchange, Albert and Pamela's relationship blossomed into a romance that transcended both their personal and professional lives. They started spending significant time together outside of work, exploring charming locales, creating cherished memories, and deepening their bond. Each new experience brought them closer, their shared joy and mutual respect forming a solid foundation for their future. After several months filled with shared discoveries and a growing sense of companionship, Albert decided it was time to solidify their commitment in a manner befitting their unique love story. He meticulously planned a proposal that would encapsulate their journey together. The setting was an art gallery, the very place where they had first connected over their mutual passion for modern art. The gallery, adorned with evocative pieces that spoke of love and commitment, was transformed into a romantic haven for the occasion. Under the soft, ambient glow of a contemporary chandelier, Albert led Pamela to the heart of the gallery. With a heart full of anticipation, he knelt on one knee, his expression a blend of hope and adoration. He opened a small velvet box to reveal a ring, its brilliance a testament to their shared dreams. "Pamela," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion, "you have brought an extraordinary light into my life, reshaping it in ways I never imagined. I want to continue building our future together, sharing every moment with you. Will you join me on this journey as my wife?" His eyes, locked onto hers, radiated a profound love and sincerity. Tears of pure joy welled up in Pamela's eyes as she took in the significance of the moment. Her response, though trembling with emotion, was filled with unequivocal love. "Yes, Albert, I accept," she replied, her voice barely a whisper but rich with meaning. Their wedding, held a few months later, was a celebration that reflected the depth of their connection, intimate, elegant, and imbued with heartfelt significance. It marked the beginning of a new chapter as life partners, intertwining their destinies in a celebration of their love. Within the bustling corridors of Hartford Industries, Albert's influence grew markedly. While Franklin remained Pamela's principal advisor and trusted confidant, Albert's role within the company expanded significantly. He became an integral player in strategic decision-making, his contributions vital to high-level meetings and pivotal projects. His leadership and innovative vision earned him a level of respect that was nearly on par with Franklin's. On a serene afternoon, amidst the usual hum of office activity, Albert found himself alone in his office, deep in thought about a new expansion project. His gaze fell upon a leather wallet resting on his desk. Compelled by an impulse, he opened it and pulled out a faded photograph. It depicted his father at a moment of triumph. A proud smile etched on his face, an image that evoked both admiration and a pang of melancholy for Albert. As the twilight filtered through the window, casting elongated shadows across the polished mahogany furniture, Albert was engulfed by a contemplative silence. The photograph seemed to intensify his inner turmoil, the once vibrant image of his father now a stark reminder of a legacy that had faltered. "My father was a titan in the industry," much like Richard, Albert murmured, his voice tinged with a complex blend of reverence and resentment. But everything he built came crashing down in an instant, betrayed by those he trusted. At that moment, the room felt confining, its accolades and diplomas appearing to mock his distress. The abrupt end to his father's empire had left Albert with a singular mission to restore his family's name and reclaim their honor. Driven by this resolve, he dedicated years to acquiring knowledge, attending prestigious institutions, and honing his skills, crafting a resume that spoke of diligence and excellence. One fateful morning, as Albert perused the newspaper, his eyes were drawn to an advertisement for a senior analyst position at Hartford Industries. His pulse quickened, and a sense of destiny seemed to envelop him. "This isn't mere coincidence, it's fate guiding me," he thought, recognizing the opportunity as a pivotal moment in his quest to rebuild his family's legacy. Albert's resolve to avenge his father's ruin consumed him, driving him to meticulously craft a plan to infiltrate and ultimately dismantle the company he believed was responsible. The memory of his father's defeat fueled his determination. Sitting at the kitchen table late into the night, he sketched out his strategy: gain their trust, secure a position of influence, and then strike to reclaim what he believed was rightfully his. Each keystroke on his computer felt like a deliberate step through a treacherous maze, carefully choreographed to avoid detection. When the day of the interview arrived, Albert faced Franklin, the man who had once been Richard's trusted confidant. He presented himself with a fabricated confidence and a charming smile, his resume boasting skills and experiences that made him a desirable candidate for Hartford Industries. Franklin, convinced of Albert's qualifications, extended an offer of employment, setting the stage for Albert's intricate plan. As Albert began to settle into his new role, his phone rang, breaking his focus. The name on the screen read Edith, his lover and partner in the more dubious aspects of his scheme. He answered the call, his voice deliberately low to avoid suspicion. "Edith, how's everything?" he asked, trying to sound nonchalant. "Albert, I've been keeping tabs on our plan. How are things unfolding on your end? Is everything proceeding as expected?" Edith's voice was laced with anxiety. Albert glanced around his office, ensuring no one could overhear his conversation. "Yes, everything is on track. I'm integrating myself into the company as planned." "Perfect. Remember, I'm here to back you up whenever you need. Just give me the word, and I'll step in," Edith assured him, her readiness for the next phase of their scheme palpable. "I appreciate that, Edith. For now, I need to solidify my position before we take the next steps. I'll reach out as soon as we're ready to move forward." "Don't worry, I'll keep you updated," Albert replied, ending the call with a silent vow to execute his plan with precision and timing. As Albert immersed himself in the intricacies of his revenge, the weight of his secretive actions began to take a toll on his personal life. His marriage to Pamela, once filled with joy and connection, began to show signs of strain. Pamela, perceptive as ever, noticed subtle changes in Albert's demeanor. One tranquil afternoon, as they enjoyed tea on the porch of their home, Pamela couldn't ignore the growing restlessness in Albert's behavior. He seemed preoccupied, frequently glancing at his phone with an expression she had come to recognize as one of deep concern. Albert, Pamela began gently, her voice carrying a note of concern. "You've been checking your phone a lot lately. Is everything all right?" Albert forced a smile, attempting to mask his inner turmoil. "Just a few work things," he replied casually, though the tension in his shoulders betrayed his anxiety. Pamela studied him for a moment, her intuition sensing that there was more to his unease than he was willing to share. "If something is bothering you, you know you can talk to me, right?" she said, her voice soft but earnest. Albert nodded, though he knew he couldn't reveal the full truth. "I know, Pamela. It's just been a busy time with the new responsibilities at work." Despite his assurances, the strain between them continued to grow. Pamela's growing concern and Albert's secretive behavior created a rift, casting a shadow over their once happy marriage. Albert's focus on his vengeful scheme, while making strategic advances within the company, also risked the stability of his personal life. He was now caught between the relentless pursuit of his plan and the escalating pressure of maintaining a facade for the woman he loved. The balance between his professional ambitions and personal relationships grew increasingly precarious, threatening to unravel both his scheme and his marriage. "Albert, you seem distracted lately. Is everything okay at work? Or is there something more?" Pamela's voice was laced with concern, her eyes searching for answers. Caught off guard by her directness, Albert hesitated before replying. "Oh yes, everything is fine, dear. I'm just dealing with some more demanding projects, nothing you need to worry about," he said, attempting to mask his unease with a forced smile. Pamela, however, remained unconvinced. "I understand the pressure of work," she said, "but it feels like you're a different person. You've been going out more than usual, and sometimes you seem distant." Albert, aware that his frequent meetings with Edith might be raising suspicions, knew he needed to manage the situation delicately. "I apologize if I've seemed distant, Pamela. Maybe I should try to balance things better. How about we go out to dinner tonight?" he suggested, hoping to divert her attention and ease her concerns. Pamela's smile was genuine but tinged with lingering doubt. "That sounds wonderful, Albert. I just want to make sure we're okay," she said, squeezing his hand. Albert returned the gesture, but the weight of his deception pressed heavily on him. "Of course we're fine, Pamela. I'll do everything I can to ensure," that he promised, though he knew the truth was far more complex. Despite his efforts to reassure Pamela, the cracks in their marriage grew more pronounced. Albert's excuses for his absences and his increasing detachment fueled mounting tension between them. Pamela, whose patience and empathy had always been her strengths, felt increasingly isolated and neglected. On a rainy evening, after a dinner filled with uncomfortable silence, Pamela finally confronted Albert. "Albert, I feel there's something you're not telling me. Your work commitments are becoming overwhelming. If we want our marriage to work, we need to be honest with each other," she said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. Albert, feeling the pressure of the confrontation, struggled to remain composed. "Pamela, I assure you everything is under control. I've just been really busy," he replied, avoiding her gaze. "Busy or evasive?" Albert, Pamela countered, her patience wearing thin. "A marriage is built on trust and transparency. I don't feel like we're sharing that anymore." The argument escalated, with Pamela's frustration and hurt clashing with Albert's defensive posture. "I don't recognize you anymore, Albert. The man I married would never make me feel this way," she said, her pain evident in her voice. With the tension reaching its peak, Albert felt cornered. Unable to justify his actions without exposing his true motives, he made a hasty decision. "Maybe we should spend some time apart. We need space to think," he said, his voice trembling with a mix of guilt and resolve. Pamela's eyes widened in shock and sorrow. "Is that really what you want?" she asked, her voice breaking. Albert nodded, unable to meet her gaze. "I think it's for the best right now. I need to figure things out." As Pamela left the room, tears streaming down her face, Albert was left alone with his thoughts. The weight of his deception and the crumbling of his marriage were stark reminders of the cost of his vengeful quest. His plan for revenge had started to unravel not just his professional life, but the personal life he had once cherished. With Pamela gone and his future uncertain, Albert faced the stark reality of his choices, knowing that the path he had chosen came with a heavy price. Pamela, taken aback by Albert's sudden return, felt a mix of surprise and caution. The rain-soaked figure at her door, holding a bottle of fine wine, seemed a far cry from the man who had left her so abruptly. "Pamela, I'm back. I've had time to reflect and realize how important you are to me. I'm sorry for my behavior. Can we talk?" Albert's voice carried a blend of earnestness and desperation. Though still hurt, Pamela's heart softened at his plea. "All right, Albert, but this needs to be a real conversation. I want us to be honest with each other," she said, her tone resolute but open. Once inside, Albert and Pamela settled down in the living room. Albert began with a heartfelt apology, his words imbued with a genuine sense of regret. "Pamela, I've been caught up in work and have neglected our relationship. I'm sorry for not being more present. I want us to work on this together and rebuild what we've lost," he said, his gaze meeting hers with a blend of remorse and hope. Pamela listened intently, her emotions a tangled mix of lingering pain and cautious optimism. "I appreciate your apology, Albert, but actions speak louder than words. We need to be more open with each other and work on our issues together if we're going to rebuild our relationship." Albert nodded in agreement, understanding that words alone wouldn't mend the rift between them. He committed to making the necessary changes, focusing on rebuilding their trust and addressing the underlying issues that had driven a wedge between them. Their journey towards healing involved small, consistent steps, sharing more openly, spending quality time together, and making a conscious effort to reconnect. As Albert and Pamela worked through their challenges, they began to see improvements. Their efforts to communicate honestly and rebuild their relationship showed promise, though it was clear that their path to reconciliation would be gradual and require patience. Meanwhile, Pamela's recovery was aided by Victor, who provided a supportive environment for her healing. Resting on an improvised bed covered with warm blankets, Pamela felt a sense of comfort from Victor's care. He tended to her with a gentle touch, checking her pulse and ensuring she was comfortable. "I'm not a licensed nurse," Victor explained as he adjusted her blankets, "but I started studying nursing before our financial situation forced me to stop. I've done my best to care for you with the knowledge I have." Pamela appreciated Victor's kindness and dedication, grateful for the warmth and care he provided during a difficult time. As she rested, she reflected on the recent tumultuous events in her life and hoped for a future where she and Albert could truly mend their relationship and move forward together. The road to healing for both Pamela and Albert was still unfolding, but with each passing day, they took steps toward rekindling their love and building a more honest and resilient partnership. Pamela's fingers trembled slightly as she held the cell phone, a symbol of both her hope and her hidden danger. The connection was made, and after a few rings, Franklin's voice came through the receiver, tinged with concern and sadness. "Pamela, is that you?" "Franklin?" "It's me," Pamela said, her voice steady but filled with an undercurrent of tension. "I need to talk to you urgently. It's about everything that's happened and what's to come." Franklin's shock was palpable, even over the phone. "Pamela, where are you? How is this possible?" "I'm safe for now, but we don't have much time," Pamela replied, trying to keep her voice calm and collected. "There's a lot you don't know. I've been forced to keep my presence a secret for my safety. But I need your help to unravel the truth and bring justice to those responsible." Franklin's voice was filled with a mix of worry and determination. "Tell me everything. I'll do whatever it takes to help you." Pamela took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. Albert's actions have been part of a bigger scheme. His intentions and plans go beyond personal ambition. They are tied to something much darker. I have reason to believe that he is involved in orchestrating the betrayal that led to my presumed death. I need you to investigate his activities, gather evidence, and expose the truth." Franklin listened intently, his mind racing as he absorbed Pamela's words. "I understand. I'll start immediately. But you need to be cautious. If Albert suspects anything, it could jeopardize your safety." "I know, Franklin. That's why you must work discreetly," Pamela said. "Victor and Bo are helping me recover, and they'll support you in any way they can. I'll keep in touch and update you as my situation evolves." As they wrapped up the call, Pamela felt a mixture of relief and anxiety. Her plan was now set into motion, with Franklin's investigation serving as a critical step toward exposing the truth. She knew that every action needed to be carefully calculated to avoid endangering herself or those who had come to her aid. In the days that followed, Pamela focused on her recovery while Victor and Bo continued to assist her. Victor's medical care and Bo's logistical support created a stable environment, allowing Pamela to plan her next moves with clarity and precision. Franklin, working behind the scenes, began to uncover the layers of deception and corruption that had led to Pamela's ordeal. Together, this makeshift alliance fought to bring the truth to light, with each member playing a vital role in the unfolding drama. Pamela's resolve to seek justice and restore her life remained steadfast as she prepared for the challenging journey ahead, one that would test her strength, resilience, and determination. Victor quickly made arrangements to contact his friend, a cybersecurity expert named Aaron, who agreed to help Pamela retrieve crucial evidence. Over the next few days, Victor and Bo worked diligently to set up a secure communication channel with Aaron, while Pamela focused on her recovery and strategizing her next steps. As Pamela's strength continued to improve, she spent her days piecing together the pieces of her plan. She carefully reviewed her notes and considered the information she needed to gather. The intensity of the situation drove her, but she was determined to bring Albert to justice without compromising her safety or that of her allies. Victor and Bo's efforts bore fruit when Aaron provided access to Albert's digital communications. Pamela and Victor went through the collected data, scrutinizing every email, message, and document for incriminating evidence. The depth of Albert's deceit became increasingly apparent, revealing a network of manipulation and betrayal tied to Pamela's father's downfall. On a rainy evening, as the first signs of autumn appeared, Pamela, Victor, and Bo sat around the kitchen table once more. Pamela had a stack of documents and digital files spread out before her, each piece of evidence a testament to Albert's treachery. "This is what we have so far," Pamela said, her voice resolute. "Albert's communications reveal not only his plans to frame me, but also his deeper motives connected to my father. We have enough to expose his corruption, but we need to proceed carefully." Bo nodded in agreement, his expression serious. "We should plan our next move meticulously. We must gather all the evidence we need and decide how to use it strategically." Victor, having spent days combing through the data with Pamela, added, "Aaron's helped us get access, but we need to ensure the integrity of this evidence. We should consider how to present it to the authorities in a way that will maximize its impact." Pamela agreed, understanding that the process would be complex and required precision. "We need to ensure that Albert's actions are exposed in a manner that can't be dismissed. I'll contact Franklin to coordinate our next steps and make sure we're aligned in our approach." The following day, Pamela reached out to Franklin, who was eager to help. Together, they planned a course of action to bring the evidence to the appropriate authorities and expose Albert's wrongdoing. Franklin's role would be critical in presenting the case to the company's board and law enforcement. As the pieces of the plan came together, Pamela felt a renewed sense of purpose. The road ahead was fraught with risks, but with her trusted allies by her side, she was prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The battle for justice was just beginning, and Pamela was ready to confront Albert and reclaim her life. As Albert took the stage, the crowd erupted in applause, their excitement palpable. He began his speech with a confident and polished demeanor, extolling the virtues of Hartford Industries and promising a future filled with innovation and prosperity. The guests, impressed by his charisma and vision, eagerly listened, oblivious to the deception behind his rise. Pamela, still in hiding, followed the event's progress through updates from Franklin and Victor. The information gathered from Albert's communications had been meticulously organized and was now ready to be used in her fight for justice. She knew that the timing was critical. Exposing Albert's corruption during this high-profile event would maximize the impact of her revelations. With her plan in place, Pamela coordinated with Franklin and Victor to execute their strategy. They prepared a comprehensive dossier detailing Albert's illegal activities, including the attempt on Pamela's life and other evidence of his misdeeds. This dossier was designed to be irrefutable, with timestamps, communications, and corroborating evidence that painted a clear picture of Albert's criminal actions. On the night of the grand party, Pamela, Victor, and Franklin worked behind the scenes to ensure the evidence reached the right hands. They planned a discreet but effective way to present the dossier to key stakeholders and media representatives attending the event. The moment arrived when Albert was about to finish his speech. The crowd's applause grew louder as he promised a new era of success for Hartford Industries. It was then that Pamela, through a carefully coordinated effort, ensured that the dossier was delivered to the media and high-ranking executives. The media, already primed by subtle hints from Franklin, began to sift through the dossier. The shocking details quickly became the center of attention. Whispers and murmurs spread through the crowd as the evidence of Albert's corruption and the failed assassination attempt came to light. Albert, noticing the shift in the atmosphere, grew visibly uneasy. His confident smile faltered as he saw the reporters' reactions and heard the murmurs of disbelief from the crowd. The lavish celebration turned into chaos as news outlets began broadcasting the revelations, and the executives and stakeholders were faced with the undeniable truth. Edith, caught off guard by the sudden turn of events, tried to maintain her composure but failed to hide her growing anxiety. The carefully constructed facade of Albert's leadership crumbled as the evidence mounted against him. As the party disintegrated into confusion and accusations, Albert found himself under intense scrutiny. His attempts to salvage his reputation were futile as the media and law enforcement began investigating the newly surfaced evidence. The fallout from the scandal was swift and unforgiving. Pamela, watching from a distance, felt a mix of satisfaction and sadness. Her quest for justice had come to fruition, but it had exacted a heavy toll on her life and those around her. The journey had been arduous, marked by deception and danger, but she had managed to bring the truth to light. With Albert's downfall, Pamela could now begin to rebuild her life and work towards healing the wounds caused by his betrayal. She remained in contact with Victor and Franklin, grateful for their unwavering support and commitment. Together, they had faced a formidable adversary and emerged victorious, paving the way for a new chapter in Pamela's life, one marked by resilience and hope. Victor and Beau were taken aback, their expressions shifting from disbelief to profound gratitude. They exchanged a glance, both touched by Pamela's generous offer. "Pamela, you don't have to do this," Victor said, his voice filled with sincerity. "We helped because we believed in what was right, not because we expected anything in return." Beau nodded in agreement. "Yes, your safety and justice were what mattered most to us, but your offer means a great deal." Pamela smiled warmly. "I know, and I truly appreciate your humility. However, I believe that your contributions deserve recognition and support." Victor, finishing your nursing degree is important, and I want to ensure you have the chance to achieve that dream. And Bo, your dedication and support were invaluable. Helping you find a role where you can continue making a difference is the least I can do. Victor looked at Pamela with a mixture of gratitude and resolve. Thank you, Pamela. Your support will mean a lot as I pursue my education. I'll make sure to use this opportunity to help others as you have helped me. Bo, equally moved, responded, I'm honored by your offer, Pamela. I'd be proud to be part of your foundation and contribute to its mission. Pamela's heart swelled with relief and pride as she saw the positive impact of her decisions. She knew that her journey had been challenging, but with the support of Victor and Bo, she was able to navigate through it and emerge stronger. In the months that followed, Pamela worked tirelessly to establish her foundation, focusing on combating corruption and supporting those in need. Victor returned to his studies with renewed determination, and Bo took on his new role with enthusiasm and dedication. Pamela, Victor, and Bo stood together in the warmth of the modest home, their shared experiences and struggles creating a deep and lasting connection. The foundation was not just a symbol of Pamela's resolve, but also a testament to the collective effort of those who stood by her in her darkest hours. As Pamela embraced Victor and Bo, she felt a profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment. Their support had been instrumental in her fight for justice, and their dedication had helped transform a painful chapter into a story of renewal and hope. The foundation's mission was clear, and Pamela was committed to steering it with the same courage and integrity that had guided her through her trials. The future held promise, with new projects and initiatives planned for the foundation. Pamela envisioned creating programs to support victims of injustice, offer legal assistance, and provide educational opportunities for those affected by corruption. Victor's return to his nursing studies was a symbol of personal triumph, while Bo's new role in the foundation promised to bring fresh energy and ideas. In the months ahead, as Pamela continued her work with renewed vigor, she was not only building a legacy of justice, but also fostering a community united by the shared goal of making a difference. Her journey highlighted the strength found in solidarity, the power of forgiveness, and the importance of standing firm for what is right. Together, Pamela, Victor, and Bo moved forward with a shared vision, their paths intertwined in a commitment to justice and positive change. The foundation became a beacon of hope, illustrating that even in the face of adversity, there is always the potential for healing, growth, and a better future. Thank you for joining us on this compelling journey through Pamela's courageous fight for justice and renewal. From overcoming personal betrayal to building a foundation dedicated to positive change, Pamela's story highlights the power of resilience, the importance of allies, and the transformative impact of standing firm in the face of adversity. As we reflect on Pamela's journey, we invite you to share what you've learned from this story. What key takeaway will you apply in your own life? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and reflections are valuable to us. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring stories and content. Your support helps us continue bringing meaningful content to you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.